Hey guys, so today we have some pretty big information regarding the upcoming 2022 Dragon Ball Super movie, which was announced back during May. I believe it was May 9th, the day they announced the movie was coming out in 2022, back during Goku Day. Well, this is, San Diego Comic-Con, and they decided to go ahead and give us some, pretty groundbreaking information on what exactly this movie is going to be sort of about. They didn't give us too much info, but enough to really cover in a video here, so... before we jump in, I'm just going to quickly go over what guests appeared on the show here. Obviously, we have Nozawa Masako, who's the voice of Goku. We have Kageyama Hironobu, who's the guy who sings the Chala Head Chala theme song. He actually performed here first before they did like the discussion and stuff like that. We have Hayashida Norihiro over here, who is the producer of the movie. He also produced Dragon Ball Super Broly. And then over here we have Ioku Akio, who's the head of the Dragon Ball Room and then also the executive producer, part of Shueisha. So those three guys, these three people right here were part of the actual discussion about the movie, and then Kageyama did the performance leading into that discussion here. So if you guys want to watch the actual panel and discussion here, I will leave a link to this page in the description down below, so feel free to go and watch it for yourself. But we're going to be discussing pretty much the main things that they talked about here, and the number one thing I want to just start off with is the fact that they discussed how involved Toriyama was in sort of the creation of the story of this new movie. They mentioned that he began writing the script for this movie before Broly even released. So this movie has definitely been in the works for a while. And they mentioned how this movie even had Toriyama more involved than Broly. And so to me it sounds like they're going way more, I guess, sort of back to the roots of how things were. And we can start off by showing the design for Piccolo in this new movie. So this is the Piccolo design. And the two things that they wanted to emphasize during their discussion was how Piccolo, like these like sort of muscle parts of his design, in the anime they've traditionally been pink. Now they're sort of recolored to yellow, which is to be more consistent with the manga design of Piccolo, and that's something that Toriyama definitely wanted them to change there. Same thing with the sash. I think the sash was blue in the anime, and now it's red. It's something he wanted them to change as well. So it's just to be more in line with how things were in the manga as opposed to the anime. It's just, the way Toriyama wanted the design to be. So that's an example of how he's more involved here. Then we have the same thing, Piccolo's design, just with the cape instead of just him without the cape on. Not really much going on here, just, it's cool to see. This is, at least Piccolo's getting some representation in the movie here, and he'll be there. They also did show his house, actually, which is interesting, because I don't think we've ever seen his house before. Next we have Pan. And this was something that caught me a little bit off guard, because I don't... they showed this, and they didn't have, any sort of, explanation of who this was for a few seconds, and I'm like, who is that? Yeah, this is Pan. This is apparently Pan, who's going to kindergarten. So this is going to raise a point which, if you remember the end of Z, so this is post Dragon Ball Super, because remember, Dragon Ball Super is the period of time that takes place in between the defeat of Kid Buu and the end of Z, which is that tournament with where Goku fights Oob, right? That's the end of Z. It's that time period in between those two events. So the fact that Pan here is going to kindergarten, and if you remember at the end of Z, Pan was, I believe, 4 years old at that point in time. This would technically, I guess, actually be after the end of Z. So they did not show anyone besides these characters in terms of the design. Well, they showed Goku, but we'll get to that in a second. But they didn't show Goten and Trunks. If you remember Goten and Trunks' design at the end of the Z, they were, much different looking than they were in the Buu Saga, which they really haven't changed their design that much. If you guys remember, in the end of Super, they were still kids, right? They still had the same design as they did in the Buu Saga, pretty much. So hopefully they designed them differently for this movie. But enough time has passed between the Broly movie and this movie to where Pan is now in kindergarten, which is, definitely going to affect probably the design of many of the characters in this movie here. So this is Pan. Next we have Krillin. This is another character that underwent one small change, which they mentioned. Yeah, that's actually the subtitles here. His eyes were skin colored in the anime, but now they've changed them to be white, which I believe was another directive from Toriyama. I guess he wasn't sure why his eyes were skin color in the anime, and he was like, please change this. So they're like, okay, we'll change it. But yeah, he's still in his police outfit here, so I guess he's still fulfilling his role as a policeman. Not really sure how much of a role he's going to play in the movie. Oh, they also did mention about Pan that she is going to play a pretty important role in the movie, so that's pretty cool. I expect to see her very often throughout the film. So here's pretty much the first new character that they showed. Now, they did not give any explanation as to who this character is. They did not talk about anything regarding him. They didn't tell us his name. And to be honest, looking at this image, you would think that there would be two different characters, right? This guy with a 1 on his outfit here, and there's a guy with a 2 on his outfit here. You could really come to the logical conclusion that there would be two characters. You know, this is one character, this is another character. They talked about this guy as if he was one character. They said this is a new character, like that. They didn't say these are new characters. They said this is a new character. So this could potentially just be the same character, just in two separate outfits, or it could be two characters. Me looking at this, I would be inclined to think that this is two characters, but I don't think we know for sure yet. This is, I guess, his weapon that he uses. By the way, in case you're wondering, what this says here is you can turn this end part to change the type of bullets that come out of the gun, I guess is what that's saying there. But yeah, we really don't know much about who this is. So they said they wanted to leave it up to our imagination to sort of figure that out and think for ourselves about what we want, you know, what we would expect out of a character like this. I don't know. What do you guys think? For me, when I see this character, I think of Zaha from Dragon Ball Legends. The helmet sort of reminds me of that because it's pretty much the same exact helmet. Toriyama, by the way, did design this character. This is an original character from Dragon Ball Legends. The clothing is kind of similar-ish, not really. Boots are kind of the same. I mean, they look pretty similar, honestly. The hair obviously is different, and the skin color is different, but I would say that they look fairly similar. So maybe there's some kind of similarity going on there between who they actually are. But yeah, I mean, you guys let me know down below what you think about whoever this character is supposed to be, and I guess maybe once we reveal the title of the movie, that might make you think differently about what this is. The title of the movie is Dragon Ball Super Superhero. So they went with the double super here. You take from that what you will. But I mean, when you look at this character, he has a cape. They specifically talked about Piccolo with a cape. Maybe, I don't know, this is supposed to be some kind of superhero that visits Earth, or he's clearly not an Earthling, right? He's definitely from another planet, or he's an android, I guess, I don't know. But with the movie title being superhero, I guess this guy's supposed to be a superhero, or these guys are supposed to be superheroes, but we really don't know. And this is definitely a title for a Dragon Ball movie that is not of the norm, I would say. Typically, when you think about all of the titles for Dragon Ball movies, most of the time they're referencing either like a big event that happens in the movie, Dragon Fist or Wrath of the Dragon, Fusion Reborn. Like those are big events that happen at the end of the movie that they use to defeat the villains, or it's simply about the villains, right? Dragon Ball Super Broly. You got Dragon Ball Z Cooler's Revenge, Dead Zone, stuff like that. So for me, when I see a superhero as a title here, I don't know what to expect. It's a very ambiguous title. It doesn't really give us much information about what's going to happen. When I see superhero, I'm like, okay, is the Great Saiyaman going to be playing a role in this movie? Is Tapion going to be playing a role in this movie? Because remember, Tapion was described and viewed as a hero. So we really don't know here. Remember, I believe Toriyama did put as his message when the announcement first came out that there would be a character returning that was unexpected. So maybe it's Tapion. I don't know. It could be Tapion for all we know. But Superhero is the name of this movie here. Next, we have the actual design of how Goku's going to look in the movie here. They did show a little bit of the animation. There was like a 5-second clip of him moving around. But to me, this was like a CGI style animation here. They did not make it clear if this was going to be the entire movie, or if the entire movie is going to look this way. But I think it's safe to say that this is at least going to represent parts of the movie that are going to look like this. They did say they want to experiment with the animation style. They did say they want to make things look a little bit different than they have in previous movies. So I think at least some of the movie, if not all of it, they didn't specify, is going to look like this CGI style. But because they put the character sort of profiles and these sorts of screens here as a traditional animation style here, like with Pan, Piccolo, Krillin, like I expect the movie to sort of be at least like half and half, like half traditional animation, then maybe half like CGI. Like I remember in the Broly movie, that one scene that they did with Gogeta and Broly where there was like sort of CGI-ish. Maybe they'll sort of weave in different scenes that are CGI and some scenes that are just traditional animation. I think that would work pretty well. But this did not look bad. It was a little choppy. I couldn't tell if it was just the stream that was, or the video that was a little bit choppy, or if it was actually the animation that looked that way. But I think if they do it right, it could work well. Remember, there's a lot of time before this movie actually releases. It is coming out in 2022. They did not give a definitive release date for it yet. So as you can see here in 2022, the release schedule may differ depending on the countries and regions. So again, we don't know when this is actually going to come out yet. But movie, Dragon Ball Super, superhero, first new character or characters is whoever this is. And that is pretty much all we have in terms of the new information for the new movie. Let me know down below what you guys think about this new information. Are you guys excited? Are you guys disappointed? I know a lot of people were looking forward to, Janemba coming back or Cooler coming back. Remember, Toriyama did say there would be a character that was sort of unexpected that would return in this movie, so we still don't know who that's going to be. But we can speculate based off of the title, right? Again, we don't know who it is. Could be Tapion, still could be Cooler, still could be Janemba, right? Could be Turles. We don't know. We just don't know yet. There was not that much information to speculate off of given in this presentation here, so we still have to wait and see what they're going to give us in the future. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all in the next one.